Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Phoenix Draconis, and this is Kaon Reviews. Alright, now as you saw in the intro, today's review is going to be the water stickers upgrade for the Studio Series 86 Core Class Spike Witwicky, as he's seen in Transformers the movie. Now, for anyone who has seen my figure review for this, you already know at one point, I was elated. At another point, I was disappointed. That's where these wound up coming into play. Now, granted, it is a core class figure, and there is some limitations. However, we've seen it time and time again where sometimes Hasbro will actually knock it out of the park, especially with figures small. However, when it comes down to certain figures, it's very disappointing. We've seen it with the Studio Series figures of Grimlock and Slag, with Wheelie, with the Wheelie figures and the Daniel figures. We've seen it in the Buzzworthy Bumblebee 2-pack, where you have Bumblebee as well as Spike. That was very disappointing. And again, then Spike over here. Granted, he does have a lot of detail. There is some articulation, but the detail that honestly would have been even better is if they added detail to his face. As you can tell, he is sorely lacking. So I've checked in a lot with toy hacks, and so far there has been no labels made for this figure. However, as my intro stated, there are water stickers. However, they're not from Toy Hacks. The company that makes them, I cannot say with any certainty. I am currently looking on the Toy Hacks site, and I do not see a company name about them. However, I have to say, I am very, very impressed with the stickers. And what was the big selling point? I will show you. The face decals. He will now actually have a face. Now, granted, he's got a nice slew of decals, and as I stated earlier, I am looking at the images on the AliExpress site, so that way I can see which labels go where. And wow, I mean, there are certain labels that these labels will help break out a lot of the monotony in terms of just the white in scale. I mean, there's a lot of good detail on this figure, but some of these stickers really help out and enhance the figure even more. None more so than this. So now, granted, I will do my best to go ahead and show you the process of what you would need to do and whatnot, but most of the applications are going to be done off camera. So I will show before as well as an after on this. So give me a moment while I get things set up, and I will be right back. Alright, I am back, and I did bring out some necessary items that you will need. Alright, so one of them is going to be definitely some Q-tips, pair of pliers, especially when picking up the decals. An X-Acto knife or a pair of scissors, and that's to cut out the labels here, and you also need that label sheet. Another thing is napkins or paper towel to where you can lay the individual labels that you're going to use as to soak up any excess water before placing it on there. Now, some have recommended a toothpick or two, so I went ahead and brought those out, but you know, that's what we need. Now, naturally, if you don't have a cutting board or a cutting mat, one of the things that I would recommend if you don't have a table of your own is basically, you know, use a pair of scissors. However, seeing as how I do have an X-Acto knife, we're going to go ahead and cut this. So make sure that you don't cut too close to the details, otherwise that will mess up the decal itself. And so there we go. And here I thought I had it. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and try and show this off because I know I had gotten too close to the edge, and I did, but not by much. So now I did it on this table because of the fact it is my drawing table, so I'm not all that you know, disappointed in it. And in preparation for this, I went ahead and unscrewed the only screw that's holding this figure, you know, together. But also make sure you have it in some place that is close by and that is transparent. So as you can tell, there's that screw right there. So that screw, for anyone that hasn't really been all that inquisitive, is right back here. And you're going to need a thin screwdriver, and it is a Phillips head. So make sure you got that. Normally, when I took out this front portion, it stayed in there, but then it kind of dislodged itself from the back. So I'm glad I caught that. Otherwise, I would be like scurrying around wondering where the hell did this screw go. So once that is off, I'll zoom out so you all can see. And all we gotta do is take, we're gonna take this off. So there we go. Boom. There you go. Once you pull this out, the arms come off. The helmet is able to come off. And there you have that faceless face. And now that I'm looking at it, this was not his hair was not painted all that well either. Man, the disappointments continue, don't it? Okay, so now I'm going to take this portion, and what I will have to do before putting it in there is split this in half, so that way, come on, there we go. So I think I'm going to have him with the, yeah, I'm going to have him with this face. So all right, coming out of the packaging, as Patriot Prom would say it, this little guy is core class entirely. You know, he is posable. He does have a lot of good details and whatnot, but in a lot of ways, he is missing a lot of details, especially. And I know I stated before, but I'm going to state it again because it is important to me. The face, there's no applications whatsoever. But as you can tell, he is very posable, articulate. A lot of them is just ball joints, but not too shabby. So there he is before. Let's go ahead and take a look at him after. All right, and here he is after the label application, and I have to say, applying these things does take some finesse, and as I stated before, it has been a long time since I've dealt with Waterslide applications like these. So they were an aggravation. I'm sorry, folks. For anyone that hasn't had any foreknowledge of these, on how to do, or I should say how to apply these, you're going to get frustrated. Now, for anyone that's watched any toy hacks reviews that I've done, I'm not the most patient person. So, I'm kind of glad I did not do the process on camera, because you would have heard me say some stuff, man. I swear to God, you would have. But that, as it may have been, or still is in this case, I gone ahead and applied the labels on there. I let it sit for a few hours, so that way they would adhere. So now, at the time of this recording, it has been a few hours since I finished applying these. So they look like they're gonna be okay, you know, without any problems and stuff, you know, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the figure now. As you see, these applications, they do show off a lot more. Now, one problem that I did have, and I didn't notice this until after the fact, I'm going to try and zoom in on the head, is the application of the eyes. Now, he did, as you saw earlier on the label sheet, it did have detail for the mouth, but what I didn't know is that they were two separate pieces. And in the process, it didn't stay on there, and I did lose it. So, and because it is such a thin line, I did not know where it went off to. And I had two pieces, you know, with two different expressions, and I lost them both. So, yeah, it's frustrating. But I was able to salvage the second eye set, as you can see. So honestly, just the eyes alone does give it a little bit more emotion. And you can still see the physical mode of his mouth, but it does give him a definitely different look. And I like it. I like, that was the whole purpose of getting this set, was to get some details for the face. And even without the details for the mouth, it's fine. The fact that he's got eyes on here now does make a whole world of difference. So, wow. Now, as you can tell, there's a lot of different details for the that show off the labels. Now, I did have I did have two. One of them moved, so and I think I see it. As you can tell, it kind of moved off to the side. That's funny. I don't know if I will make the attempt to. I may just take that one off. But oh no, I am going to take that clear arrow off. But whether or not I'm going to reapply it, I don't know yet. So, but as you can tell, you got like uh, a monitor, or not a monitor, but some sort of indicator on there. Uh, some details for the shoulders, which cover up those little pinholes. You got some detail underneath in the midsection in the crotch hole area. You do have some details that show caution. You also have like a type of panel on his forearms there. You also have like another indicator for that, for the they're not a screw hole. It just happens to have like a molded detail on there, so they decided to go ahead and put that on there. For the calves, you do have some detail there. On the sides, you do have a lot of cool detail. One that also covers up that numeric section that they put on there. That goes on the inside on both, on the outside, as you can tell right there and there. And just there we go. Very, very nice. And one thing, as you saw in the detail for the face I showed, he does have some sticker detail for the sides there. And I do like that. He also has a label on here. And he does have some stickers for his boosters. So all in all, that is a really good set. Now, like I stated before, you do have to have, in my personal opinions, some level of skill, skill, as well as patience. And I'm getting there in terms of the skill. Patience, not so much. But all in all, there he is after the label treatment. I should have gone ahead and I think I did take some pictures of him before I put the dome back on him. So I will see about reviewing some of the images in post-production and see if I can show off, the head detail afterwards. But there he is. So let's go ahead and take a look at him in his transformed mode. All right, now in his vehicle mode, he is, yeah, I want to say he's all right. Transformation's kind of like odd to me because we all see him in, or at least Daniel, in vehicle mode, and his hands are kind of tucked in underneath him, and he's got the wheels and stuff like that. But yeah, it's there. So that's how he looks in vehicle mode. I know I should say more about it, but let's see if the labels will improve the look. So there he is before. Let's go ahead and take a look at him after. And here we have after. And I have to say, transform mode is not all that different. However, with these labels on there, you can tell it does pop out a lot. A lot of these got carried over in, or I should say from, the robot mode, and yeah. That, I have to say, focus, thank you. That just really carried over extremely well. A lot of good detail on there. Now, of course, there was a label that did not completely, adhere to. So I wound up having to go ahead and adding on just a dab of super glue and just putting it back on there. Not something I would honestly recommend, but nonetheless, that was what I did. So, but all in all, it does give it a little bit more oomph, despite the of the transformation. And there goes. Let's see what just I just saw one of the labels fall off. Okay. It's to this portion right here. It did come off, but nothing that I can't fix. So all in all, there he is. And that's it. There he is in his new detailed vehicle mode. So let me go ahead and get him transformed back, and I will give you my final thoughts. All right, so I'm back. Thank you for your patience. I had to do some minor touch-ups. A couple of the labels did come off, and so not, like I said before, not the most recommended course of action that I took, but wound up using this to reattach them, because after a certain bit of time, the glue does wind up wearing off, especially if you oversaturate it. So I think this is what happened. But I have to say, this is a pretty good set if you got the skills and the patience to put these on. I have neither. But I am impressed with what I saw, especially with the images I saw on AliExpress, and I will put a link on that for anyone that is just not all that pleased with this figure in itself. I think this was made specifically because of the lack of details that Hasbro failed to put on there. No face applications whatsoever. I did mention that in my previous video. Also, details to break up the monotony of part of the sculpt. So this label set is good, but like I said, you have to have this, in my personal opinion, the skill as well as the patience to put these on. If you have neither one of those or both, it's going to be difficult for you. Just letting you know. But I am pleased with this set. But on a scale of 1 through 10, I'm going to have to go ahead and give this a 6, which is a little bit more generous than what I had in mind originally. I think, like I said, it's my lack of experience and my lack of patience, which is what brought the score down. So, again, this is my set. But do I recommend this set for anyone that wants to go ahead and put a little bit more detail into this figure? Then yes, I would definitely recommend it. For those that just want to have details for his face, I would definitely recommend it. But again, you're going to have patience on this, not to mention some skill, as well as the basic tools. So I'd like to hear from you all. Were you aware of this set? And if so, were you able to get it? And how did the results turn out? Were they good? Were they bad? Leave me a comment about this in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. Click onto the bell icon so you can be notified when I post up new videos. This is Phoenix Draconis, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace.